Starting out in a wheelchair, I worked hard until I was able to run. Going from not being able to pull myself onto the bed to doing chin-ups was a sign of my improvement. Going from sitting all day to doing 100 push-ups regularly served to show that I was reaching the end of the tunnel. Even though the road ahead seemed long and sometimes boring, my previous progress gave me courage to keep going. What would this week bring? Thinking of my resolution to get fully better in 2 weeks, I realized that it might not be possible to accomplish. So, at the beginning of this week, I changed my goal to be where if someone saw me in public, they wouldn't know just by looking that I was in pain. With this new goal, I started my week with push-ups. I did them in 2 sets of 50, but I also started trying to make my form more standard. I wasn't able to do all of them like that, but it was a good start. The next day, when I did the plank, I was able to hold it for 2 minutes. The day after, physical therapy day, I told the therapist about my goal, and so he changed the therapy slightly to fit it. We started though with the usual chin-ups. I was only able to do 7 at this time, but I quickly moved on to the next challenge of the session. This challenge was the step-ups, which I did well enough for what it was. Next, I did the leg press, and it went pretty much as well as the last time I did it. The next thing I did was the treadmill, and while I was able to run, my foot was hurting a little bit more than usual because I had tried a new type of exercise at home that didn't work, and in fact simply hurt me. So, because my foot was hurting, I wasn't able to run as well as I would have liked. Once I got off of the treadmill, I did all of the walking exercises, including the skipping that I hadn't done in a while. We also added a new one to this list, and that was skipping backwards. As you can imagine, this was as awkward feeling as it sounds. In fact, it took me quite a few tries to even do it right, but after I got it, I went for a couple of rounds. After that, the therapist set out 4 cones in a large square on the ground. And what he had me do was run forward to one, then sidestep to the next, then backstep to the third, then sidestep back again to where I started. This happened a few times, and then I went to the table and laid on my belly. The therapist then had me try to raise my head off of the table as high off of it as I possibly could and hold it there for 8 to 10 seconds and repeat it 10 times. This was, as you probably guessed, to stretch my neck. By the end of the 10th time, my neck was considerably more flexible. After that, I sat up on the table and rotated my torso while keeping my head forward for the same purpose as the last exercise. And just like that, the session was over. As I did my second set of chin-ups, I thought about my journey so far. And even though I didn't make as much progress as I would have liked, I was still doing alright. When I finished that, I found that I had done 8, bringing my total to 15. The next day, I did the plank again, but was only able to hold it for 1 minute. This really left me feeling dissatisfied, but there wasn't anything to be done about it, so I moved on. The next day, while doing the push-ups, I continued modifying my form. And I still wasn't able to do all of them that way, but I was making progress. The day after was physical therapy again, and I once again started with the chin-ups. I was able to do 9 this time. With this promising start to therapy, I moved on to the leg press machine. That also went well, and I got up from that feeling less tired than usual. The next thing we did was the walking exercises, including backward skipping. After that, we went directly into the cones in a square on the ground. This time though, instead of simply going around the square, I did a few different varieties of that exercise, including obviously the first version. I then did the sit-to-stands while holding a weighted ball. Once that was finished, I did the calf raises and step-ups, which went well. After that, I went to the trampoline and threw the ball at it. We also added a new version to this, and that was me standing to the side and twisting my body to throw the ball. After that, I did 30 squats, using an exercise ball against the wall to balance me. Once all of those squats were done, I stood on one leg and bounced the exercise ball off of the wall. When that was done, and it took me a few tries before I stopped falling over, I did step downs off of a very high step. This went well, and by the end of it, I was able to step all the way down with my left leg supporting me, but not quite as far with my right leg. I also held the position of my leg on top of the step, like I had done in a previous session. This time I also added standing with my leg up to the side as opposed to just out in front of me. Once all of that was over, I finally went on the treadmill. This time though, my left foot still hurt, and my right hip felt slightly tight. Both of those things together made my running much more difficult than before. It wasn't as fluid or easy as it had been, but I pushed through and made it to the end of the 10 minutes, and with it, the end of my therapy. I then did the last set of chin-ups, and I did 10 at this time, bringing my total to 19 for the entire day. This was a new record, as the last record was 18. As I left that place, I felt hopeful that I would be able to make it to my next goal on my journey from arthritic to athletic. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, share it so others can enjoy this series. Talk to y'all later. Bye.